Hello, Christopher and Melanie. Here is your sewer scope from today's inspection. It's me in the basement. There's that access panel right by the water meter. Start out, cast iron to start out with. Typical, not bad. Fairly decent shape. Not a lot of buildup going on here. So just a quick 10 feet-ish before we make this transition. My guess is that's roots, catching stuff, paper products around the circumference of the pipe. Again, that's right, probably item number one, or reason number one while we want to get things cleared out. Root growth right there. And then we're into clay, so 10 feet in cast iron, and then the rest of the length is clay sections. Fair amount of buildup in the pipe, especially as we get out the latter stages of the line. Moderate amount of growth at most all of the connection points, or some of the connection points. Holding a little bit of water there, just a smidge, just because of that buildup. We're coming up relatively close on the section that I had concerns about right here. I'm fairly confident that those are roots. With the little screen on my camera, it was hard to see. I mean, you can see those are, I think those are just kind of tendrils running, especially you can see on the bottom right there. Definitely looks more like root movement than anything else, and not a crack. So I'm going to just run back and forth a number of times just so I can get a decent picture. Again, hard to see when I'm managing running the cable through and looking at my screen. So I want to take as much time as I can, get as much video of it as I can, so when I'm sitting where I am right now, I can look over it a few times. And then you see some other of those kind of black runners, roots there. The silvery stuff, likely cobwebs. Relatively big root growth right there coming in. Build up ahead right there. So that's the kind of the insidious thing about root growth, is it catches stuff. Natural material, paper products, things like that. And again, if the roots grow in thick enough, if they grow around the entire connection point, then obviously we're going to start to have backups. The connections all look pretty good. There are one or two that look like that there might be a little bit more separation than what you would want, but like right there. But all in all, it's fairly smooth sailing to the city connection. Cobwebs. So we're definitely a good candidate for cleaning, and then obviously once the line is cleaned, we want to come back and reevaluate and see what things look like, just to be doubly sure that there is no damage. But my hunch is that it's just a dirty pipe. And then here we are, city connection, right at about 81.5 feet to get there. So please read through my written reports, look at the recommendations on there. Reach back out to me if you have any questions. I'm always happy to be a resource. I'm going to keep the camera rolling as I pull back. You're more than welcome to watch the return journey here if you'd like. Thanks again.